So here you only have to come up with one possible value of b. In this question, there actually ends up being 3 potential correct answers, and I'll show you each of them, and I'll give you the one that I think is the easiest. But let's start with that one actually. So it says that a and b are positive integers. Now keep in mind, integers are counting numbers like 1, 2, 3, etc. -1, -2, -3, and it keeps going, as well as 0 in the middle. But because they specify positive integers, we're just looking at these kinds of numbers here. And so if both a and b are positive integers, what would you think of right away as something to a power gives you 25? The most common one is 5 to the second power, right? So that's making a 5 and b, well, we could say b over 2, I should say, because what power are we talking about? We're saying to the second power. And then we could solve for b by either cross multiplying, if you want to look at it like this, or just multiply both sides by 2. Same idea. Regardless, you get b equals 4. So that's the easiest one to me, and that's a valid answer, that b equals 4. 2 of the other ways to do it would be, you could say, okay, well, 25 to the first power would give you 25, right? So in that scenario, a is 25, not that they ask you for that. And then the exponent is our b over 2. Same idea, you could just multiply both sides by 2 or make it a proportion and cross multiply. Regardless, you get b is 2, which would be another valid answer. And the third scenario, which I think is the least obvious, would be looking at it as the square root of 625 would give you 25. In other words, 625 to the, and remember, as we discussed in class, we have radical form and rational exponent form. So when you have something as, let's say, a square root, that's really to the 1/2 power. So we could say this is 625 to the 1/2, which means a is 625, and the exponent is 1/2, so b over 2 is 1/2, and you could see that that means b equals 1. So you could have put 4, 2, or 1, any of which would be correct, but again, for me, the most obvious answer was 4 when we had 5 to the second power.